What's going on, guys? Chinese K here. Well, judging by the title of this video, hopefully you already know this will be something very different. So in my last video, I asked you guys what would you like to see on my channel as a new series of videos, and a lot of you guys actually mentioned gun reviews, and to me I was like, there are already way too many gun review videos out there these days, and I want to be different and to stand out. But then a subscriber of mine, Dylan Aspinall, suggested for me to do a series called The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. In it, I will choose a weapon and then first attach the best attachments to make the best loadout possible, and then make the worst loadout possible, and lastly make a loadout that looks physically bad on the gun. I like the idea, but I decided to modify it a little bit. Instead of doing all that, I want to give guns of your choices an extreme makeover to make them look like real life counterparts. Since I don't see many people play guns in Battlefield 4 for their looks, everyone kind of relies heavily on these stats themselves, and even after a year since the launch, Battlefield 4 is still, in my opinion, probably one of the best looking games out there. So why not take advantage of the awesome graphic engine to make the guns even look closer to real life? If you had to compare this series to something, I would say it might be a bit closer to Loadout, but I just won't get too heavily into the stats, and instead I will talk about my thoughts and opinion using the gun itself, and also give you guys a little bit of a history lesson. So leave your comments down below telling me how you feel about this series, and maybe even leave a real life gun counterpart that you want me to copy in a future video with the right attachments on the gun. Anyways, getting started. For the first episode, I have chosen to deck out the Scar H, my current favorite Battlefield 4 assault rifle. I have tried to transform this rifle into a long-range, stealth-based variant which is supposedly designed for the US Navy SEALs, even though I know they don't officially use the Scar H in any of their missions. On the screen right now, you can see a real-life picture of the Scar which I tried to copy into Battlefield 4. I'm no weapon expert, so I'm not 100% sure if the gun in the picture is the Scar H or just another variant of the Scar in the very large family of guns. The gun in the picture is equipped with a suppressor, a flashlight, a laser, a foregrip, and also some sort of longer range scope. If I had to guess, I would say that is probably an 8x scope, but again, I'm not very sure since I can't physically hold the gun and check for myself. So in the Battlefield 4 customization menu, I tried my best to try to make the Scar in the game to look as closest to the picture. I have equipped it with a PSO-1 4X scope, a laser and light combo, a suppressor, a vertical grip, and the default paint. Now, the reason why I equipped the PSO-1 4X scope for the Scar H is because it is physically the longest looking scope out of all of the optics which is available for the assault rifles. The ACOG and other medium range scopes are just a bit too short, and I do think the PSO-1 scope replicates the 8x scope the best. Now, in the real life picture, you can see the laser and the tactical flashlight are both separate attachments and they aren't a combo, and since in Battlefield 4 you can't equip the laser and the flashlight separately, so I decided to go with the combo and have at least both of the attachments. And then I chose the normal suppressor in Battlefield 4 instead of the 3 other factions suppressors, which looks a little bit different, but they do perform the same. Now, the reason why I chose the ordinary suppressor in Battlefield 4 is because in the real life picture, the suppressor doesn't look very complicated. It looks like a normal straight up suppressor with no weird designs. As for my choice of using the vertical grip, I believe in the picture the foregrip that is shown does not look like an ergo grip because it doesn't look as bulky, so I thought in my opinion the vertical grip will suit the best, even though it is in a different camo compared to the picture. And lastly, I don't even think I have to explain myself why I used the default paint. It is because it looks the same in the picture as it does in Battlefield 4. Now let's just quickly get into the part of the video where I talk about my experience of using this assault rifle. So I think the major problem with these attachments is the PSO1 scope. I find that you can't really get into people's faces as I usually do with the Scar H. I believe the PSO scope really hinders you if you aren't used to it, since I think most people will use some sort of red dot sight in their assault rifle instead of some crazy 4x scope. But I do think the scope itself looks awesome and it really adds a tactical feel to all your engagements. So with the suppressor, I believe the Scar H already has the slowest bullet velocity out of all the assault rifles at 410 meters a second, but adding the suppressor will drop it down to 300 meters a second, and it makes hitting moving targets at any range a challenge. Plus with the PSO scope, you are kind of forced to keep your engagements at longer ranges, which with the increased bullet drop, I actually have to aim slightly above the target as if I was using a bolt action, so that was a bit weird. And lastly, I have to talk about the vertical grip. So it is not the best for recoil control on the Scar H. I would personally equip the angle foregrip, which works a lot better because I like tap firing this gun, and the angle foregrip will just decrease your first shot recoil. The vertical grip looks great, but it does actually help with the hip firing, so if some random enemy somehow pops right into you and you aren't expecting it, you can kind of rely on your hip fire, since you do have the laser light combo, which can flash in their face and help you easily fire from your hip and down your opponent. So with my overall experience with using these attachments on the Scar H, I think my experience with the Scar H kind of helped. I have about 900 kills with it, and surprisingly throughout the footage in this video I go on these lucky random kill streaks. Maybe it is because the suppressor helps me to stay off the radar and the enemies don't know where I am, so I can kind of flank around and they won't notice. In my opinion, these attachments combined will teach you how to play it safe. You will learn how to stay behind the front line and pick off these strays. You won't be arming any MCOMs or rushing into any objectives, but you will in a way play it like how a real life infantry soldier would play it, safe and not like a video game where you have infinite lives. So this kind of causes me to get higher KDs in games, even if I'm not on the top of the leaderboards, which I don't really mind. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today in this video. Again, please let me know how you guys like this series so far, and also suggest a gun and its attachments for me for the next episode down in the comments. If you guys enjoyed it, I might even make it a weekly thing. And also, I will make more videos for the Wingman series with Ghost Gaming. We just haven't found the right time to record some more footage, but hopefully I can get an episode out sometime next week or so. Thanks for watching. Peace out, guys.